his ornate design of us when we help someone to get this rush of oxytocin. It makes you want to do it again, right?
That is a beautiful design, and one that can really serve us when it comes to grief.
Obviously, that's proof this is not a new idea.
Maybe not today, maybe not next week, but maybe there's an opportunity for you to help somebody else in their journey, and by doing so, you will be the benefactor.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Good Grief. We're sitting on the couch, and today we are talking about, can helping others help you heal? Did I get that right? It's a bit of a tongue twister when you think about it.
Can helping others help you heal?
Yes.
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 And if you're returning to the podcast, we've got a bunch of holiday episodes coming up that will help support you through what's coming, Christmas, New Year's, and just the holidays in general. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe or follow the podcast. Make sure you're following along so that you don't miss out on any of that.
Absolutely. Loving it. It is a tough time, but we are here for you, and so is our community. But on this thought, I like this thought because I was thinking about it, and I think that it's like God's cheeky way of getting us to be selfless and helping another. Because, yeah, I can see your brain ticking. You don't agree?
No, I don't think.
Okay, hear me out. Well, this is where I was going, and you can rebut if you want. Because when you help someone, you get a rush of oxytocin. Do you not?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
The feel-good hormone, the warm fuzzies, the rush of
agree.
energy, that sort of thing. And so I think that God's made it like that. His ornate design of us, when we help someone to get this rush of oxytocin, it makes you want to do it again, right?
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else were you thinking?
I'm not sure it's his cheeky design that we would go through grief to have oxytocin released to help others. I don't know. I don't know. This is probably where we can't fathom, God's.
Sorry, I hadn't got to the grief part yet. I was just
design.
meaning about helping others in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you agree with that then?
Yeah, well, yes, I agree with that.
I mean, I'm calling God cheeky. You can call it what you like, but
He's definitely designed us with emotions, with different chemicals inside us that we all have that get released with very common things that happen. Yes. So I agree. Yes, when we do help somebody, it does release chemicals that make us feel good. So we are actually the benefactor of that. Just like when we exercise, endorphins get released and we feel better. But I guess the thing to think about is I feel this often is I don't want to exercise.
right.
But I know that after exercising, because I've done it before, I feel great.
Yes.
And so I would parallel that with this conversation as to, can helping others help us heal? I might not want to help somebody, but if I look back on my past, the people that I have helped it's made me feel incredible. Whether it's just a humbling, whether I feel proud of the moment,
Yep.
whether I feel like a sense of now somebody else can stand on their own, all of those things, I can parallel that. If I know that I don't want to exercise, but if I do it, I feel great, maybe, just maybe, it's the same with helping somebody else through grief.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that you could be having a total downer day, but if the opportunity comes past you and you grab it to just for a second help someone else or encourage them, or you might pray for them, I think more often than not, you are going to feel better. You might feel that glimpse of joy. And I think incrementally, if we take hold of these opportunities that come our way, whether it's daily, weekly, I think incrementally it does help us heal, and it will bring those glimpses of joy back, or moments of joy, or hours of joy.
Totally.
That build up and build up, And soon enough, you realize that you're in a better place than you were.
Yeah, and you can't pour out 24/7. So it's about balancing and knowing when your cup's empty,
Yeah.
that you need someone to pour into you, but also when your cup is not empty and you've got something that you can pour out upon somebody else. The wisest person ever to live actually spoke on this perfectly in Proverbs. Solomon says in Proverbs 11:25, he says, "He who waters others will himself be refreshed." You can say, "She who waters others will herself be refreshed." You know,
I couldn't have said it better.
whichever way you look at it, by helping somebody else, you yourself benefit from that. And I think that is a beautiful design, and one that can really serve us when it comes to grief. And we've seen that outworking. We've seen it, in our lives. Yes, we hear from you that listen to the podcast and how this helps, but we also see it in members inside of our Good Grief Club.
Absolutely.
Supporting, listening, praying for, uplifting.
Yeah, and they've even come out and said it many of them have said, I've just found that since I've joined and leaning in and being part of the community and praying with each other and hearing each other out and encouraging each other, it's made me feel good, and I already feel like I'm healing.
Totally.
And some of them are really new on the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. New
this year.
Yeah, new as in
new in their grief.
this year.
Yeah, or last year.
Totally.
Yeah.
Someone that comes to mind is one of our members, Shelley.
We love Shelley.
Massachusetts.
Yes.
And, Shelley's incredible for many reasons. She has been through many different forms of grief too. More recently, losing her husband. But I just want to read something that Shelley sent through because it's perfect for this conversation. She said, well, first of all, she said she was hesitant about joining the Good Grief Club at first, but what she found was a place where she felt secure, accepted, and less alone. But this was the real kicker for me. She said, and I found a sense of purpose in being able to encourage and pray for other women. And she went as far to say, she sent us a video, and she said that by helping others, I've actually found a deep sense of healing, not just some shallow surface level healing, but a deep sense of healing. And I think that pretty much is the proof in the pudding. And that's not to say that Shelley's needed times of support and love and care herself, but by loving and pouring out and refreshing others, it's definitely led to her healing in much deeper ways.
Yeah, I know that Dora's said something similar as well recently. Yeah, since losing her daughter Emily. But going back to the proverb, it's not, obviously that's proof. This is not a new idea. This thing of watering others and you yourself will be watered, or however it's said. It's not a new idea. Like, this has been going on for centuries. So
yeah,
this is not a new thing, guys. We're not.
I know, but that's the funny part is that
it's good to be reminded.
We get thrown into loss and grief and tragedy, and we're trying to search for all new ways of doing things, but it's been in the Bible for so long. And I was even thinking about just the disciples, right? Jesus calls them as they're in their career. They're in career mode. Many of them fishermen and they're
carpenters.
They're casting nets and so forth. And he says, leave what you're doing, follow me, I'll make you fishermen of men. And essentially in that statement, he's saying you will find more purpose by serving and helping others than you will in the thing that you've grown up training for and perfecting your whole life. So I was just thinking about that Jesus calls us to serve others. It says that Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. So there are so many examples of it in the Bible. I don't think we couple that when we're in grief, because we think about, how am I going to get through this? How is my world ever going to look clear again? How am I going to ever move forward from this moment? But this podcast, if you're listening, might just be the gentle nudge to say that, hey, maybe not today, maybe not next week, but maybe there's an opportunity for you to help somebody else in their journey. And by doing so, you will be the benefactor. You'll be the one that takes on the refreshing, like it says in Proverbs.
Yeah. It's such a sweet thought. And yeah, absolutely. We're not saying go out and do it today.
Change the world.
Yeah. If you're very new to grief, that's definitely not what we're encouraging here. But I'll say it again, like I said, I think in our last episode, that I believe that no tear or no story is wasted. And you might not see a purpose in your grief right now, but yeah, when you can find the opportunity to encourage or be there for someone else in their grief, and you get to experience that new sense of purpose, it's a whole new world. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I don't know if we answered the question. I think we did an all right job.
I think, is retrospective, is that the right word?
Hindsight,
Relative?
I don't know.
It's all relative.
But
But
can you heal by helping others? I'm going to say myth busted.
myth busted.
Is that right?
We
Yes.
believe so.
We believe you can.
Yeah, can you put that thing on the screen? Myth busted.
Do you remember that show? Mythbusters.
Mythbusters, yes.
Well, hopefully this has prompted some thoughts for you in your journey of grief. And like we said, maybe it's not today, maybe it's not next week, and that's totally okay.
Yeah.
We're here for you on the journey, and especially through the holidays, these next coming days and weeks, as we journey towards Christmas and the new year. We'll be praying for you, but also if you want to experience that level of support and love that you've heard about from Shelley or Dora or many of our women all over the world that are inside of our Good Grief Club, we'd love to invite you
Yes.
on that journey with us. And we've made it accessible that you can come in and try before you decide at all on whether it's for you or not. We've got a 14-day free trial for you, and you can jump on that with the link below this episode. We'd love to see you inside there, and we'll introduce you to Shelley and Dora and many of the other wonderful women.
Yeah, come in. We'd love you to join us, jump on some of our calls, and we'll introduce you to some new friends.
Cool. Well, that wraps up this episode.
Yeah, that's enough from us.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you and love you so much. We're praying for you.
Till next time.
Bye for now.
Ciao.